How's it going, guys? My name is Davi and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode we're gonna do some sound editing in this bucky. This being a base model Ranger, it's actually quite noisy in the cabin when you're driving, lots of road noise, and today we're gonna do something about it. And this is what we will be using. This is usually the stuff that the guys at high-end car sound shops or installations use to sound in the panels of your vehicle. Now, this stuff will absorb all the noise and everything from the body panels. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. You can hear that metal sound ringing after I've knocked on there. All the panels are like that on this buggy. It gets quite noisy, so let's sort that out. Okay, so with this stuff you don't actually have to cover each and every little square inch of the panel that you are insulating. So what I'm basically gonna do is use this sheet to cover most and then cut off a little bit for that next panel that we can cover that as well. Now to install this stuff, it's got a backing paper that you pull off and it exposes the sticky side. To get that to adhere to your surface, use a roller. This roller is made specifically for installing this soundproofing. So this is the first time of me actually trying this, so let's give it a try. Well, so far it's actually going on quite easily. Okay, let me cut off another piece. Let's finish that side. Okay, so now that we've got that installed on the inside of the roof, let me show you what a difference that makes. No more ringing metal noises, nothing. The stuff is solid. It absorbs all the vibrations that would come through the metal. So, let's carry on with the doors. Okay, like with anything else on this buggy, before we start sticking down this stuff, I had to wipe out the inside of this door because it was still full of dust. So what I'm going to do now, start measuring out pieces. You'll see this is the factory sound deadening that they've installed here, but they've only done a little strip here in the middle. It does a good job, but we can do better. So let's measure out and start sticking this stuff down. I'll start with a rough estimate of the size, cut it out and start sticking it down. And with the stuff, like anything else, measure once, cut 34 times. Okay, so we've got the sheet. You pull back the backing. This is like a rubber bitumen type backing, which is what sticks to the inside of the panel. There we go. Let me quickly finish the rest of the store. Okay, so now we've got the inside of the door covered, and that will give us a nice, quiet, solid like you can hear. Cool. Let's move on to the next thing. As you can see, this area is quite tricky to get covered. This stuff is quite pliable, so just keep on working at it, getting it into all the bends and folds, and you will eventually get there. Also, all the little nubs and things that you can see sticking out, I basically just cut a little hole in this sound deadening, like I'm doing right there, to get the, little knob to come through, that you don't have to struggle with that thing, and it stays functional as well. Okay, so this is the final product of the roof inside. It works very lekker. You can hear it makes a huge difference. And then behind the back seat, this is what we've got there. This was quite tricky, but we managed to get it in. This piece up here, there's a trim piece going over that, and I'm just worried that if I put some sound deadening on that the trim piece might not fit, so I'm not going to do that part. Okay, now let's tackle the other door. Right, like with the other door, I first gave this door a very good wipe down inside. So let's go and form that in. If there was a prize for guessing, I would have had gold now. Guys, just be careful with this stuff. What you see is a thin metal surface, and yeah, it's got sharp edges, so just be aware of that. Don't be like me. is the most important part done. Now I've still got a few sheets left, so I'm thinking it's between the firewall or the floor. So let me think about that a bit. Okay, now that we've got the soundproofing in the roof, let's see if we can quickly reinstall this headliner. Oh, I didn't remember how this thing goes in. Okay. That goes there. That goes there. Okay. Okay, I think these grab handles I'm first gonna give a good scrubbing before I reinstall them. Of course, we might as well do it properly. Okay, so after a good scrub with water and soap, let's get this thing installed. Okay, now for this hold down of the sun visor. And the rear view mirror, but like with that grab and handle, I think I'm gonna give this thing a good scrubbing first. Okay, gave it a good scrubbing. Let's get this guy reinstalled there. Cool. Now I just need to get a new globe for this interior light, because the one in here is of course blown. Sweet progress. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I think this is going to make a huge difference to how that bucky drives. It's going to be nice and quiet, and yeah, totally worth it. As you can see, it's something you can do yourself quite easily. Just try. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all those nice things, and have an awesome day. Cheers.